Joyride 1957, Chapter 21. Where is he now? Exasperated Misty said. She was in a payphone in the sweltering Florida heat. The sweat was running down all the curves of her body. He's in Oklahoma, the deep male voice said on the other end of the line. Oklahoma, she screamed. How'd he get there? Why would he? How come you? We don't know, but our operative said he is traveling north on Highway 59. Any ideas? The voice asked. Not on the phone, she said, then whispered, I know where he's going. Agent Misty, care to fill? Give me a ticket on the first flight to Minneapolis. I'll be back in Jacksonville in an hour. She half yelled at him. And get me a car, one with air. Will do. Keep us informed. We're getting a little edgy up here, he said. Idiot, she yelled, shaking her blonde hair violently as she hung up the phone. I just had this guy in my bed, and now he's 1,000 miles away. What she did not notice was a tall man wearing a dark suit climb back into his green Dodge Regent, the one with a Hemi, and follow her from a safe distance to Imison Field in Jacksonville. She saw but did not realize the identity of the man seated across the aisle from her in the Northwest Orient airliner. When Misty was mad, Misty was hungry. She loved to cook. She loved to make love. She loved to eat, and eat she did. She was always suspicious of airplane food, but she ordered the bacon-wrapped filet without gratin potatoes. This included a Waldorf salad and a creme brulee for dessert. She was so mad she asked and was given 2 desserts. This was all complimented with a fine Cabernet. The man across the aisle from her ate exactly what she did. She determined to talk to him. He was very handsome, but never once looked at her. However, the sumptuous meal took its toll, and before she knew it, the tall, short-haired brunette stewardess was telling her to fasten her seatbelt for landing. She picked up her 3 check bags, hired a porter, and went to the Hertz rental counter. I want a car, she said loudly. You have a reservation? The agent asked. Yes. She handed him her driver's license. He rummaged through some papers and said, Mrs. Wellington, that's me. I have a nice 57 Chevrolet Bel Air for you. It's a 4-door hardtop. No, I don't want any Chevy. I want something bigger, lots of room and air conditioning. The agent stared at the nearly 6-foot-tall woman. It was only 60 degrees outside with a cold north wind. He thought better of arguing and said, I do have a white Pontiac Star Chief with... No, I'm tired of Pontiacs. They always take me in the wrong direction. He looked further. Here we go. The car just came in. It will take a few minutes to service it. It's a new 1957 DeSoto Adventurer, white with gold top and interior. A beautiful car. She thought a minute, then said, DeSoto was an explorer. He always knew his way. Does it have air? By this time, several bystanders were watching her little scene and admiring her figure. Yes, I'll take it. I gotta make some calls. I'll return in a half hour. Your car, the beautiful DeSoto, will be waiting. Just sign here. Over at the Avis counter, the tall, dark gentleman in the dark suit was also renting a car. We have a nice Ford Fairlane 2-door hardtop, dark green. Oh, it has air conditioning. Does it have a Hemi? He asked. A Hemi, sir? The puzzled agent said. A Hemi, a powerful engine. Do you have anything with a Hemi? Another agent stepped to the counter. This Ford has a 312 cubic inch V8. It's the fastest car on the road, sir. I drive one myself. Outruns anything on the road. I have to have a Hemi. It's for my work, the heavy-accented gentleman said insistently. The agent wondered, but did not ask the nature of the man's business. I'm sorry, sir. The only Hemi engines I know of are in Chrysler vehicles. I had a Dodge once. It had a Hemi, he said, becoming a little impatient with the Avis agents. Chrysler Corporation makes Dodges, sir. I suggest you try the Hertz counter across the way. He hated to send any business to his rival, but decided it would be better play in this case. The gentleman walked over to the Hertz counter. There was a short line. When he reached the counter, he said, I want a car with a Hemi. The agent, who had just lost his battle with a big blonde woman, said, "Sir, you have come to the right place." He thumbed through his files, and then sweat began to bead up on his receding forehead. "Sir, the last Hemi was just rented by—" Suddenly a big smile came to his face. The other agent set another file in front of him. "Sir, I have one Hemi left, and you can have it for $50 a day plus mileage, of course." "Fine, I'll take it." "It's a nice Imperial Crown coupe, dark green with red leather." The smile on the agent's face also crossed the tall man's face. "I'll just need to see your license." Within an hour, Misty in her white DeSoto Adventure and the tall man in the black suit in his dark green Imperial Crown coupe released their parking brakes, pressed the D button on the dash, and began rolling west from Minneapolis, Minnesota. With their Hemi-powered Chrysler Corporation vehicles on Highway 52, fearing and hoping for a rendezvous with history. Veronica had been notified of James' whereabouts 2 days before Misty and the tall man in the black suit. She took an Eastern Airlines flight back to Washington, D.C. from Atlanta, had a meeting with her director at the British Embassy, and then the two went for dinner. All she could think of was the Frenchmen at Augusta, but as the British hated the French and vice versa, she put it out of her mind. After eating another of her favorites, beef Wellington, with her director at the Occidental Grill near the White House, she and he spent the remainder of the evening locked in each other's arms in her hotel room. The next morning he took her to Washington National Airport, where she boarded a Republic Airlines flight to Minneapolis, Minnesota. On her arrival, she rented a 1957 chocolate-brown Ford Country Squire with wood-paneled sides and drove 3 hours to her next port of call, Alexandria, Minnesota. On her arrival, she checked into the Lakes Motor Hotel, a white clapboard inn west of Alexandria on Highway 52, and waited for the Frenchman and, of course, James to come along. The next morning she went over to where the 202-pound sandstone, now called the Kensington Runestone, was being housed. She viewed it for about 15 minutes, taking pictures and admiring its runic texts. She then went and had lunch, awaiting the influx of expected visitors to this burg of 6,000 hardy souls.